In Bible times, the army of Syria came to war against the people of Israel, who were God's people. When the Syrian army went home, they took with them a girl, a little maid of Israel. The captain took her home with him to be a servant to his wife. This little girl must have been lonely. She was far from home in the house of the foreign army captain. It seems he was a happy and good servant though. She knew the Lord, and I am sure she prayed to him and depended on him to help her. Her master, the army officer Naaman, came down with a terrible disease called leprosy. The little girl had a tender heart, and she was sad to see Naaman ill. She remembered her home country and the prophet Elisha. God had used Elisha to work some wonderful miracles. She knew God could anything. God could make Naaman well again. The little maid really cared about her master and mistress. That's a big word which means lady of the house. And she wanted to be helpful. She said to her mistress one day, I wish my master Naaman were with the prophet that is in Samaria, my home country. He would make him well of his disease. Naaman told the king of Syria about this prophet in Israel that the little maid had said could heal Naaman's leprosy. The king wanted Naaman to be healed. The king said, I will send a letter to the king of Israel. Go, Naaman, and see if this prophet can do as the little maid said. We all love you and want you well again. So Naaman started out. He took with him gift of silver and gold and beautiful clothing. Naaman king sent a letter along to the king of Israel saying, I'm sending this letter to you with the captain of my army Naaman. I want you to make him well from his leprosy. The king of Syria seems to think the king of Israel could hit Naaman. He didn't know that it would have to be God who has healed, and that God would work through his servant Elisha. The king of Israel knew he could not heal anyone. He tore his clothes and said, Am I God to kill and to make alive, that this man sent me someone to heal of his leprosy? Just look at this. He just wants to stir up quarrel with me. Someone went quickly and told the prophet Elisha that the army captain from Syria was at the king's house, wanted to be healed of his leprosy. Elisha sent word to the king, Why are you tearing your clothes? Send that man to me, and he will know that God has a prophet in our country. The message came to Naaman. It is not the king you should see. It is the prophet Elisha. So Naaman, with his horses and his chariot and his servant, hurried over to Elisha's house. Naaman was a very important man, important enough to be welcome at the king's house. Now he had to go visit some prophet. He was sure that Elisha would hurry out and make him welcome. But Elisha didn't even come out to meet Naaman. Elisha sent a messenger to Naaman with this instruction, Go and wash in the Jordan River 7 times, and then you will be clean and healthy again. Naaman didn't like that. He was angry. He said, I thought the prophet would come out and see me and call in the name of the Lord his God and strike his hand over the place and make me well again. Why do I have to go a river here in Israel? We have better rivers than this in my country. Why can't I just go and wash in one of them and be clean? He was so angry, he turned away and started to go home again. Now Naaman didn't know the Lord, and he didn't know how God's work. Naaman was so angry, he might not have obeyed, but the servant who were with him wanted to help too. They wanted Naaman to be well again. So they said, My father, if that prophet had asked you to do something great, something really hard, would you have done it? Of course, Naaman said. You know I'm strong and brave. How much easier it would be then for you to do what the prophet has said. All he said for you to do was to wash and be clean. Why don't you try it? Naaman saw this was right. He knew the little maid And this other servant all wanted to help him. So he decided he would try what the prophet said. He went down to the Jordan River and into the water. He dipped once, but he was not well when he came up. The prophet had told him to dip 7 times, and that was he had to do. Down he went again, still the leprosy was there. Down again and again and again. He went under the water 5 times, 6 times, and 7 times. As he came up from the water for the last time, everyone was watching. Was he healed or did he still have leprosy? Well, his skin was clear. He was well enough. The ugly spot of the disease were gone. His skin was smooth and clear like a little child's. God had healed Naaman's leprosy, and the prophet would not even take the gold and silver Naaman had brought.